The idea that we have been implementing, and this has been done probably in 15, 20 countries around the world, including in Saudi Arabia, is to begin by identifying a policy problem. This might look like a simple exercise, but it is not. Many times we run one-week workshops based on this methodology. We get people from all over the world, and they are divided into their different problem areas. You will not believe that Ministry of Education people, for example, often do not even agree on what the problem is in education. They all agree, yes, we have a problem in education in Malawi or in some other country, but what is the problem of education? Is it enrollment? It is teacher quality? Or is it something cultural in your own homes? What is the problem? We spend a lot of time trying to identify the problem, and this is done through consultations. We then go in a deep step further and diagnose the problem. Here again, I cannot tell you how many times we've been in situations where the diagnostic of the problem ends up being a very difficult exercise. What I mean is that while apparently the problem of education might look like the scoring of the schools is not good, the test results are not good, but you have to peel the layers of the onion. It's like, you know how in an onion you have many different layers? As you peel the layer of the onion, by providing evidence and data from your own environment, you learn that the problem of education and the low test score outcome is not just a test scoring problem, it is maybe a deeper problem which could be related to the teaching environment. And if it's a teaching environment problem, why are the teachers not doing their job? Maybe they're not paid well enough. Well, why are they not paid well enough? Because the private sector pays more, or there is a budget constraint or something else. So you have to go deep into the diagnostic of the problem, and only then can you design a policy solution that can address that specific problem. So in a minute, I'm going to walk you through an example of how this can be done, and we did with Hadaf. And then you have to go into the implementation. Oftentimes, we leave the emphasis of policy making at the design stage, but we have to remember that the implementation of policies is incredibly important. You have to build in your implementation system a mechanism to test whether a policy is actually working or not. Again, remember my example of the child sticking his hand in fire. There has to be some kind of milestone, some kind of system which tells you this is working or this is not working. You cannot just make a policy and then implement it and forget about it. You have to constantly innovate and improve it. This is where the testing mechanism comes in, and then of course, based on that testing, you go back and refine it. And if the refinement works, you can either go back to the redesigning stage, the implementation stage, or maybe sometimes you have to go all the way back to the identification stage. So to me, the most important thing about this framework is the idea of continuous improvement and to build the capacity within your own institutions to actually learn from the mistakes that you're making.